This is a sign of distress.
彼は今、日本ではなくてアメリカのコロラド州に住んでいます。そして日本人の私はアメリカではなくて今、日本に住んでいるんです。結婚18年目の私たちの今、日本とアメリカで二重生活をしています。国際遠距離結婚をしている夫婦です。私たちの夫婦ってね、日本人同士の結婚と比べて何か違いがあるとしたら Why we are staying in this marriage?
That's marriage.
I'm cleaning in front of you.
Right.
Done.
Separating as a family.
Right.
Divorcing. Everybody that I work with, they're completely surprised.
He's just sitting here being a single life. It's getting frustrating at one point.
International marriage or not. Like
い
that.
つもご視聴ありがとうございます。もしよろしければ、LIKE ボタン、そして登録の方もよろしくお願いします。日本人同士のカップルとは何が違うんでしょう。見ていきましょう。Today is talking about
You know, obviously the channel is kind of centered around international marriage, raising kids
Right.
that are dual citizen,
Right.
bilingual.
Right.
So I think it's kind of an important update.
So, did you get used to this lifestyle? Back and forth?
I don't think a person can ever get used to it. Adjusted,
Adjusted?
kind of.
Me, personally, like I feel like you're coming frequently, so I don't feel as sad as you, being apart. I don't recognize it.
Really? For me, it feels like hardly ever here.
You don't think so?
Yeah. I feel like I just arrived a couple days ago and I've been here 2 weeks and then I leave Saturday.
I think this is a huge difference. You being alone. I'm holding the 3 kids and
Yeah, you have a busy life.
But you have a busy life at work too.
Yeah, but it's once I leave work, once I come home, I don't have kids to take care of. So, you're always busy. Kids come home, cook dinner, eat dinner. Kids go to sleep and you start editing videos.
Right.
So you're busier than I am.
Yeah.
You just have a different schedule.
Feelings are different,
Probably. Because I go home and I'm alone.
Right.
And so I'm already thinking about when's the next time I can go to Japan.
So we're different personality,
Yeah, different already.
language level,
Yes.
different gender. Everything
I
is
hope so.
different. And how we cooperating with this relationship.
Really compound the differences already
Right.
and then make it more difficult.
Right. But why we are staying in this marriage then? What do you think?
What do I think? Why we stay together? Marriage is a commitment, right? Like you're committing to another person, always going to be there, whether it's good or whether it's bad, whether it's fun or not, right? I think everybody recognizes that it's not easy and that there's always going to be a commitment and you have to sometimes support the other person more than you need supported yourself.
Right.
So it doesn't matter, international marriage or not, that's marriage. The struggle's understanding each other. You can talk and convey your point, but you have to make sure the other person is listening and then understood what you tried to say. You can't assume just because you spoke some words that the message was received and understood, right? Because there's a language barrier.
Right. So I give you a message. Sometimes I don't tell you.
They don't do what?
They don't do that, these cleaning and stuff. They hired somebody to do so.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning in front of you.
Right.
But do you receive the message without saying that? Like, hey, I'm
Yeah,
cleaning,
sometimes.
can you...
Right. I'm working so hard here.
Very important to take an act. You can give a message, but take an act, right?
Yeah, I think it's important.
When you're far away, what kind of situation make you feel like, I miss my family so much?
If I talk to Ryan for just a quick few seconds and then he's got to go to school, I can feel like he's struggling to speak English. Who gets to eat it?
What?
Who gets to eat it?
We bring it home.
Who gets to eat it when you get home?
どういう意味?
And I can tell it's painful for him.
Yeah, I get that. I can feel that pain over the phone.
It's not easy. And then basically I don't talk to Kai, and sometimes I go 2 weeks, 3 weeks without talking to Kai. And Kobe, maybe.
Because they're busy with
They're busy.
sports
They're
and-
busy, and I can be here for a couple weeks, but I don't see everything. There's a lot of things that I miss. Like Ryan, several teeth he lost. Kobe has a game the day I leave. I didn't get to see him play any soccer. So those things I don't get to see. I miss it, and that opportunity is gone.
Do you feel like, I'm so glad my family is not here? I bet you do.
Probably every other Friday, I take off from work, and during ski season, I go skiing.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Your friends
Friend-
sometimes?
Yeah. There's no obligation. Either trying to get the kids up to go ski, or there's no feeling guilty because
Right.
Yuko stayed home. It's guilt-free skiing.
Anything else guilt-free? Watching TV maybe?
Yeah, watching movies.
Is there any separation living in the States? Like we do have a lot of, husband is going to Tokyo, like my dad.
Right. It's very rare. There's probably some people who maybe travel to another state Monday through Friday, and so they have a small one-bedroom apartment, and then they go home on the weekend. I'm working in Colorado, but when I tell people at work, my entire family, my kids and my wife, live in Japan full-time, and I'm working in Colorado. What? Really? Say that again?
So it's rare, extremely. Did they say take maybe separation, small separation?
Yeah, maybe they think we are
Done.
separating as a family.
Right.
Divorcing. Everybody that I work with, they're completely surprised. Nobody lives apart from their family.
Japanese are like separated living.
Yeah.
Like my dad was entire
Right.
gone,
Right.
but it's closer at least. Every weekend he came back. and
Right.
That's a huge difference.
And at least same time zone.
Right.
We're 16 hours off, so we have literally maybe about 2 hours where we can kind of communicate each day.
But do you remember we met the guy and husband and the wife?
He was living in Brazil. Right. This was some YouTube fan
Yeah.
that recognized us in Cannes.
Right.
He was living in Brazil while his family was in Japan.
Right.
But the one thing that surprised me was he said he would infrequently go back to Japan.
Right.
Once a year or something.
Can you do that?
So, yeah.
To save money?
No, I don't. Every time I come back, I think it's kind of like honeymoon for the first week.
Right.
Like, it's good to see you.
Right.
And then we start fighting the next few days. And then finally get back
Last couple days.
half where we're like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do to make Yuko happy. I think she
That's a
knows
good point. Yeah.
what to do to make me happy.
Yeah.
And then we're back.
Back. So basically, you live on your own. You have your own pace, and that is like you are comfortable with now.
Right.
I'm the same way. I'm on my pace. I cook this, I clean this, I do that, everything. But now you come back. I was expecting, hey, I gotta help.
Yeah.
And then now, but then he's just sitting here being a single life. I'm like,
Right.
get your body up. But on the other hand, I have a two fight. One is I know he's tired. He wanted to relax. This is one of his vacation. So Yuko, please leave him alone. That's one whispering. The other is like, Yuko, you gotta help now. Ask him to get help. And then they are fighting.
Your minds are fighting?
Yes, my mind is fighting. Especially when you're looking at the iPad laughing or it's fun and vacuuming and doing laundry. It's getting frustrating at one point.
And then in my mind, it's like, okay, I came from the States. I came from Colorado to see you.
Yes.
But you're just always facing the computer. Maybe it's not video editing, but you're doing something. Like
Or
you were
updated,
organizing some
downloading,
videos
yes.
and sorting things.
Not
But I
much.
was pretty patient
Well,
with you.
I'm already editing, asking editors.
Yeah, I
so a lot less than last time. Because this is something that's previous mine. I mean,
But you do.
this is fighting. Anyway, so let's talk
Next
about,
question.
since we're separated and living apart, I want to try this life because I have kids living
Oh,
in the
okay.
States.
Okay.
I mean, I want to try this life for the kids. Do you recommend it?
So your question, would I recommend it for people to do this? Ultimately, no, I don't think I would recommend it. It's a huge sacrifice, right? Like when I look at the kids, I can tell that they're super happy going to school in Japan. But then I'm also wondering, what is Ryan thinking, especially his father is not living here and then only comes back a couple weeks. What's in his mind? Mostly for Kai so that he could
Right.
go to school in Japan, right? When we go back, hopefully in a couple years, and the kids are going back to school in the States, are they going to regret coming to Japan? Are they going to regret leaving Japan? And then I wonder about their future too. What is their future work life going to be? Like Kai, I think Kai has already made up his mind. He's going to go to college in Japan and he's going to work in
Right.
Japan the rest of
Right.
his life. The kids are not proficient 100% in any language. They're not 100% English. They're not 100% Japanese. And then what do? Then they have a struggle in their life.
Ryan is imperfect of English.
Kobe is like, I could say Kobe's about 80%.
He just doesn't know how to. He has a mind that's committing. He wants to commit, but he just don't know how to start yet. Kai is a very dedicating person. He's gonna work on it. But Kobe is half working and wanted to make it perfect. So that's a personality difference too, I think.
Would I recommend that families do this? And I was talking about, there's a lot to be considered, right? Are your kids going to benefit from it? Is your marriage going to survive being apart from each other, right? I think that was my biggest concern.
Have anything that you are being careful while we're apart? Careful to communicate with me or being careful to stay this marriage?
I think this is the most confusing part for me. Maybe I have too many insecurities. It's tough being apart from you. And then there's a part in my mind that thinks, well, Yuko must be completely comfortable living away from me. And then there must be some part in her mind questioning like whether you want to continue.
Questioning yourself?
That's in my mind. For me, it's more difficult to hear from you that you're not questioning anything like that. Yeah, mostly maybe you just don't care.
And if it's happened. I can't do anything with it.
I know, it's probably easier for your mind to
Right.
think like that. But I think that, we're both still dedicated, then it would be easier for me.
So do you want me to ask you preferably
Well, not
like
if you
do
don't
you love
want
me?
to.
Stuff like
Yeah,
that?
maybe.
So what's the point asking you?
Well,
For
sometimes
me?
it's just nice hearing it.
Okay. So that's the kind of a key to maintain.
Maybe so.
For me, when I ask you, hey, I love you, do you love me? Feels like I'm doubting you. Why do I have to? We're married, having a family.
This is where it comes in, the cultural difference between low context and high context cultures.
Right. We've been talking about
Yes.
this so many times.
So this is the struggle with our cultural differences. We have different needs of communicating,
Right.
right?
So that's true. Like showing more love, showing I'm cared about you is probably necessary in this situation.
What would it take for me to do or not do if you start doubting?
When you tell me like, hey, this is a paper.
Oh, that? All the way to there?
Yeah.
All the way to there?
Like one lady called me, hey, texted me, hey, he's hung out with a lady.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Right.
But I knew that because you were going out with your sister.
I went to dinner with my sister, and was it your friend?
Yes, it was my friend.
I could feel somebody looking at me like I didn't take it serious.
Then I start doubt, for sure.
Okay.
I think that's a basic, easy answer, you know? Yes, we are fighting. We are seeing in 3 months, we don't see lots of gap between to catch up with. But once we are settled, we know what to do. We know how to deal with. And I know how you feel. And you probably know how I feel. And then the marriage just keep going. Finally, the rusting part is catching up and they start like moving
Right.
on. So, international marriage with distance love. Makes sense, right?
Yes.
But it's challenge. But
Big challenge.
do you think international marriages are full of love?
Do I think it's full of love? Mm-hmm. Well, I think if you pick the right person, it's full of love. You can have a non-international marriage that's not full of love, right?
Right. So it's the same, international or not. It depends.
Pick the right person, right?
How do you want to do it? Like that?
Distress. This is a sign of distress.